Hello students, good time to all. I am Chandan Kumar Pradhan. Welcome to the channel Chandan Physics. In this video, we are going to discuss 3-level laser system and 4-level laser system. Let's begin. 3-level laser system, as the name indicates, if 3 levels are involved in that kind of laser action, then the laser system is known as 3-level laser system. Let we consider an atomic system, and that atomic system is characterized by the discrete energy levels, and here 3 energy levels are involved. In order to show that one, we have to draw the energy levels. E1, E2, E3. E1, that is the ground state, E2 and E3 are the excited states. What actions are there in case of 3-level laser system? In 3-level laser system, the atoms are formed from energy level E1 to E3. In energy level E1, there are atoms or electrons or molecules. Overall, we say these are the particles are present at the ground state E1. They are formed from E3. Pumping is a technique to raise the number of atoms to that of ground state to its excited state. So, the atoms are formed from that of energy level E1 to that of energy level E3. That is pumping. A large number of atoms are excited through the stimulated absorption from energy level E1 to E3. A lot more number of atoms are excited to that of ground state to its excited state by the process of stimulated absorption. Stimulated absorption is the process at which the ground state atoms require an amount of energy which is equal to the energy difference in between these two levels, that is E3 minus E1, which is equal to the photon of energy h nu. That photon of energy h nu, that is E3 minus E1, when that amount of energy is introduced by the method of pumping, then the ground state atoms are now excited to that of energy level E3, and that method and that process of emission is the stimulated absorption, that is stimulated absorption. and the lifetime of atoms in the energy level E3 is very short, that is E3 is an unstable state, that E3 is the excited state, which one is unstable state, and the lifetime is just around 10 to the power minus 8 second. It is a very low time period. During this time period, the number of atoms present at that of excited state. The atoms make transitions from level E3 to level E2, and the energy level E2 is the metastable state and has relatively longer lifetime as comparison to that of E3. Now, the atoms are from E3 to E2. And that energy level E2 is the metastable state. And time period or the lifetime of atoms in that of energy level E2 is 10 to the power minus 6 second, which is much more time as comparison to that of 10 to the power minus 8 second. Therefore, the phenomenon of population inversion takes place due to a huge time difference between these two energy levels E3 and E2. That point, the energy level E2 is the metastable state and has relatively longer lifetime as comparison to that of E3. Hence, atoms tend to accumulate at E2 with the intense pumping from energy level E1 to E3, and because of rapid decay to energy level E2, the populations of atoms becomes more in energy level E2 as comparison to that of energy state E1. Therefore, the stimulated emission occurs between energy level E2 to energy level E1, which is producing laser light. Now, from energy level E3 to energy level E2, there will be spontaneous emission. And due to rapid pumping and the time delay in between these two levels, the number of atoms now at that of energy level E2 is much more as comparison to that of energy level E1 and E3, and the process of what? The process of population inversion holds good at that of situation. Now, the atoms from E2 energy level to that of energy level E1. Due to the process of stimulated emission. And it results laser. So, laser light is produced from that of transition energy level E2 to energy level E1. Look here, there are three levels occurred. One is stimulated absorption due to the method of pumping, Next, spontaneous emission from energy level E3 to E2, then stimulated emission from that of energy level E2 to E1, which creates laser. Therefore, it is a 3-level laser system. In case of 3-level laser system, if we calculate the efficiency, a term we use, that is quantum efficiency. Quantum efficiency denoted by eta, that is the ratio of output energy to that of input energy. Eta is equal to, here output energy, that is E2 minus E1, E2 minus E1, and the input energy, by the method of pumping we implement the energy difference in between these two energy levels, E3 minus E1, E3 minus E1, that quantity is greater than, sorry, that quantity is less than 1. And an example, of a laser which is acted by using 3-level laser system. 3-level laser system is ruby laser. Ruby laser is a 3-level laser system. Ruby laser is an example of 3-level laser system. Next type of laser system, that is 4-level laser system. 4-level laser system, as the name indicates, in 4-level laser system 4 energy levels are involved. Due to the involvement of 4 energy levels, we call it as 4-level laser system. Four-level laser system, 4 energy levels are involved. Let me understand the action of 4-level laser system by taking 4 energy levels as E1, E2, E3 and E4. E1, that is the ground state energy level. Next, E2, E3, E4 are the excited states. Let me understand the actions in 4-level laser system. In 4-level scheme, the atoms from the ground state E1 are raised to that of excited state E4 by the method of pumping. Now, ground state atoms to that of excited state by the method of pumping transition. This is the pumping transition. From this energy state E4, the atoms decay to the energy state E3 by spontaneous non-radiative transition. From energy state E4, to that of energy state E3 by spontaneous non-radiative transition, that is fast non-radiative decay. And the lifetime of atoms in that of excited state is of the order of 10 to the power minus 8 second. Here the atoms of lifetime 10 to the power minus 8 second. And the energy state E3 is a metastable state. Energy state E3 is a metastable state, means the transition rate of atoms from energy state E4 to E3 is much faster as comparison to the transition from the energy state E3 to E2. Next, transition from E3 to E2. E3 to E2, that is stimulated emission. Due to the process of stimulated emission. Here the transition time from E4 to E3 and the transition time E3 to E1. The transition time E4 to E3 is the transition time from E4 to E3 is much faster as comparison to that of transition time from E3 to E2. From E3 to E2 it will be 10 to the power minus 6 second. It requires 10 to the power minus 6 second. Therefore, a huge time gap in between these two transitions. Therefore, so the number of atoms in the energy state E3 exceeds the number of atoms in the energy state E2. The number of atoms in that of energy state E3 now exceeds as the number of atoms in that of energy state E2. Thus, population inversion is built up between the energy levels E3 and E2. And the laser action takes place between the energy levels E3 and E2 by the process of stimulated emission. Here we obtain the laser transition. Population inversion takes place due to a huge time difference in between the energy levels E4 and E3 as comparison to that of energy level E2. The number of atoms accumulated at energy level E3 in comparison to that of ground state is much more, and population inversion holds good. Due to that stimulated emission process, laser transition takes place. The population inversion on E3 to E2 transition in 4-level laser system can be achieved and maintained with moderate pumping, and that laser action is maintained by using moderate rate of pumping. Since in this scheme level E2 in the lower laser level, that is not ground level, E2 lower energy level, that is not ground level is E1. It is relatively easier to maintain population inversion between the levels E3 and E2 with moderate pumping. Population inversion can be easily maintained between these two levels E3 and E2 by moderate pumping. and gets continuous wave output. For this to happen, the transition from energy state E2 to E1 must be very fast, and the transition in between E2 and E1 is very fast. And the atoms from the energy state E2 simply get de-excited from the energy state E2 to the ground state E1. Here the atoms are de-excited by the spontaneous emission. Here spontaneous emission, and atoms are de-excited. De-excitation of atoms occurred in between energy level E2 and E1. Now, by the technical term, the efficiency, quantum efficiency of 4 level laser system, quantum efficiency eta is equal to output energy divided by input energy the output energy is E3 minus E2, output energy E3 minus E2, and the input energy E4 and E1, E4 minus E1, that will be the efficiency of a 4 level laser system. An example of a 4 level laser system, helium neon laser. Helium neon laser is an example of a 4 level laser system. Helium neon laser is an example of 4 level laser system. And when we compare in between 3 level laser system and 4 level laser system, the 4 level laser system is more efficient as comparison to that of 3 level system, as taking the quantum efficiency in between these two. So, here with the help of this video lecture we understand the concept of 3 level laser system. What is 3 level laser system? What are the processes in that of 3 level laser system occurred? Quantum efficiency in 3 level laser system, an example of 3 level laser system. Then 4 level laser system, how the processes happened in case of 4 level laser system, and the term quantum efficiency, and an example related to 4 level laser system. So, with this useful and informative notes, let me wind up this session. Thank you.